Good afternoon, one and all. We have some chipmunks barking, if you can hear them, over the birds. Oh good, I've just got a notification that I've gone live. Yes, Russ, you are first. Hello and welcome. Tracy, hey, good to see you. We've got chipmunks on the periphery and a noisy bird. You were first, Tracy? Oh, been waiting 10 minutes. Okay, you know what? That reminds me, I gotta start scheduling these things. Phil, hey, good to see you. Phil's Radio Dude. Oh, we're on the @names still. I hate those things. I could not find I could not find the setting to change those. Phil says, "What's up, Mom Dogs Barkers?" Look at that scenery, says Tracy. Yeah, check it out. So last week we had a bunch of colors. Now the leaves are starting to fall off the trees. And in fact, we have a tree that shed all of its leaves. We've got a completely bare tree there. And that was all colored up last week. So much different than last week. And then we've got another bare tree over here that was all yellow last week. Tracy says, well, what can I say? I'm impatient. In case peeps don't know. Tracy says, just beautiful, Molly. Thank you. Russ says, really? You, Tracy? Right? Phil says, that's the nudist tree. Tracy says, I got a naked tree outside too. Yeah, it's about that time. They're all gonna be stripping. Russ says, looks beautiful, Mall. Thank you. Tracy says, like butt naked. like butt naked. Hey, Phil says, knock, knock. Paul, hey, good to see you. Hello and welcome. Tracy says, who's there? We're all waiting, Phil. The pressure's on. Oh, we got a chipmunk. I thought he was a leaf, so I didn't zoom in at first. Can you move or something? So, oh, there you go. There he goes, he moved. Hey, Moondus. Radio Dude says, impatient cow, moo. I think I've heard that one before. Can I zoom in anymore? Is it too blurry if I zoom in that far? It's just barely see him out there. He's way out there. She's like, look, lady, there's all kinds of acorns out here. I don't want your damn peacock nuts. I believe it's a little bit far out, but it looks like it is chippy. If he'd come just a little bit closer, I could tell for sure. Phil says, that's a skunk leaf. That's why it's stripped. Maybe it's striped. Maybe it's a racing chipmunk. And now he's gone. Or is he? Where did you go, little guy? No, he's gone. He's gone. So we'll zoom back out. And we'll go to our regularly scheduled. Oh, that's kind of cool with the red leaves on the ground. Kaboo, hello and welcome. Says, woof woof, where's the dog at? Actually, mom dog has more to do with my kids. I had 4 kids, which is kind of like a litter. And I called them my puppies. And I was the mom dog. Of course, they're all grown up now, but I've had the name for a really long time. Also, it's polite for bitch. Which I can be. Phil says it's gone chippy. Phil says, peekaboo, I let the dog out. My name is Peekaboo, but I don't know why it only shows my @name on some lives. Yeah, some lives have @names and some lives have regular names. I want to be one of those lives that have the regular names because @names are confusing. The rest says, I want to see your puppy's mall. Peekaboo says, you can call me Pika for short if you want. How's your Saturday going? It's going pretty good. Pretty good. How's yours going? Phil says it's only a litter if you had them all at once. Well, I had them all at once. I didn't give birth to them all at once. Pika says mine is okay. Glad to hear it. I'll go ahead and welcome you into our community here as part of the Blue Crew. So what's everybody's favorite fall activity? Phil says, I had to change my @name because it was @hole and we all know what that looks like. Share Bear, hey, thank you for coming. So good to see you. Pika says, thanks. You're more than welcome. Share Bear saying hi to Radio Dude. Hi, Share Bear. So good to see you, honey. How you feeling? There we go. We can zoom out a little bit more for some more ambiance. Tracy says, eating chocolate. Believe it or not, and people always think I'm strange, but I'm not a big, huge chocolate fan. I prefer caramel and vanilla. Like vanilla ice cream with caramel sauce on it. Oh, that's like my favorite dessert. Pika says, I like the whole month of October because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. Mine too. I like all of the spooky stuff that happens during the month. Me too. I freaking love Halloween. Love the ghosts and the stories and the creepy sounds the trees make and when they're getting ready for winter, like they are now. Share Bear says, how are you today? I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing, Share Bear? Russ is laughing. Phil says, hi, Share Bear. Oh, my chat just went backwards. Hold on a sec. That was weird. That was really weird. Am I still here? My chat just literally rolled backwards by itself. Speaking of ghosts and spooky things that happen. Phil saying hi to Share Bear. Ed, hey, good to see you, Ed. Ed says, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure I'd be grabbed and drowned before I found out. Russ says, I used to love bonfire night. Oh yeah, oh, I love bonfires. Oh yeah. Radio Dude says, me too, but occasionally I like dark chocolate. Really? Like you prefer dark chocolate over milk chocolate? Russ says, build a fire and fireworks. Spuds cooked on the fire, loved it. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. The Michigander 616, is that you, Caleb? I apologize, we're on @names and I'm not sure who everybody is. I do apologize. Is that you, Caleb? Russ says, you're here. Ed says, tentacles. Tentacles, tentacles. Get it? Very cute. And Radio Dude comes in with the answer just after it's provided. Way to go, Phil. Pika says, you read my mind. That was going to be my next question. I was going to ask if you ever had a paranormal experience. Actually, I sort of did. I didn't really experience anything myself, but I did have a dog, my little dog. Her name was Isa, and I would take her ghost hunting with me. And we never had any kind of, like chills or signs of ghosts or anything like that. But I did catch what looked like an upside down baby inside of a cupola, or like a little turret thing at the top of a school that was blown up. That was creepy. Never could explain it. Went back, tried to recreate it. We even took a doll and tried to recreate it that way. We couldn't recreate that picture. Ed says, why don't any eggs make a joke? Because they're already cracked up. Bisay, hey, good to see you. Speaking of 616, yeah. How are you, Bisay? Radio Dude says, you can't tell who I am. I'm incognito. Hi, Incognito. Nice to meet you. Incognito says, I'm a slow texter. Ed says, upside down baby and a blown up school in the same story. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty creepy. And the baby was like, it looked like you see the pictures of ghosts, like see-through and kind of white tinted. Like it totally, I mean, it was just wild. I wish I still had that picture. Actually, I wish I had put the picture up on YouTube before I lost it. Radio Dude says, I thought I lived in a haunted house, but it turns out the messes were made by my kids. Susanna, hey, good to see you. Hello, how are you? Phil says, hi, Susan. Leaf. There's Leaf. Decided to come and say hi. Bisay says, a friend of mine and I saw an orb for about 3 minutes. Do you know John P. Adventures? Yes, I know. Yeah. He's interviewing me Wednesday about it. Oh, that's awesome. What time, Bisay? Because I definitely don't want to miss that. Pika says, yeah, I was going to say if you still had the pic, let's see it. Yeah, I wish I could show it to you guys because you guys would be like, yeah, that freaking looks like a baby. Radio Dude says, hey, Bisay. Tracy said, I feel I've seen my granddad a couple of times. Like not in full version, kind of at the side, but it's the presence I felt, like strongly, of my granddad. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've actually felt that way, and you guys are going to think I'm completely nuts, but my little dog, I feel her presence sometimes. I know it's weird. And sometimes I feel like she comes to me when I'm sleeping. It's weird. Or maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Or maybe it's really her. Who knows? Bisay says 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll try to remember that because I definitely want to see that. I will be working, but I'll do my best. As long as I don't have a meeting, I should be able to pay enough attention to it. Sadman, hey, good to see you, Sadman. Sadman says, hello, Molly. Good to see you live. Good to see you, Sadman. How the heck are ya? Pika said, I've had a few experiences like that too. If you wouldn't mind sharing, we'd love to hear it. Pika says, where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? I am from Michigan, right on the west side of Michigan. Oh, we have a little birdie and a chipmunk that just ran away. Never mind. Wait, the chipmunk's coming back. And his little head just disappeared. I lied. Sorry about that. Tracy says, and of my dog, yes, Molly, I feel her nudging me. And when I look down thinking Loki will be there, he's not. Plus, she was a greyhound. She was a greyhound. He's a dachshund. Dachshund. Dachshund is how you pronounce it. I went to grooming school. You'd think I'd know that. Hello, 310. How are you? Hello and welcome. Thanks for coming. Radio Dude says, Molly, I know you're not a computer nut or a complete nut. I know you've had your tonsils removed. What? Actually, I haven't had my tonsils removed. Never got around to doing that. Orb Experience. Hey, Molly, it's Bisay. I had to dedicate a channel to the story. Oh, how cool. Let me mod up that channel too here. That's a good idea. It's a fantastic idea. Hey, Matthew. Matthew's train conductor. Good to see you, Matthew. How are you? Pika says, west side in the house. Same. Oh, you're on the west side of Michigan too? Wow. A lot of us here. Sadman says, how was your week, Molly? My week was pretty good. Thank you for asking. How was your week, Sadman? Radio Dude says, I bred a pit bull and a dachshund for my ex-wife. It's called a wiener pit. Poor Phil. Bless your heart, Phil. Sandman says, hi, train conductor 1. Matthew says, I am okay. Good to hear that. DeAndre, hey, good to see you. Says, hello, hi, Molly. Good to see you. Hello and welcome. Matthew says, I have been doing more shorts. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good idea. I need to do more shorts. Mary keeps telling me that. Pika says, I'm from the west side, west coast, but I've been to Michigan a few times. I actually grew up in Southern California. In fact, I used to go swimming at Long Beach, at Sunset Beach. I've been to Redondo Beach. Orb Experience says it's a great story for real. That interview will be saved, so don't worry about missing it. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Because I definitely want to see that. And I'll probably post it on this channel. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. If you want to like tag it on one of my shorts or something like that, or like one of my posts on my channel to promote it, you're welcome to do that as well. DeAndre says, what other fish do you have? Let's see, I've got betas and I've got cichlids. That's about, and then I've got my frogs and my snails. And of course my plecos. I've got I freaking love my plecos. And then I've got my hillstream loaches. And then my world famous pornographic frogs. Orb Experiences, I'm in GR, which is Grand Rapids. And Orb Experience is also BSay. Pika says, when you were in Long Beach, did you ever meet Snoop Dogg? No, nope. I was in Long Beach in the 70s and 80s. And very, very, well, let's see. Yeah, was it the late 80s? Yeah, it was the late 80s we moved to Michigan. Radio Dude says, just put some shorts on a clothesline and take a video for Mary. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I might do that. Pika says, I've pretty much lived all over Southern Cali and lived in Nevada. Oh, neat. I grew up mostly in Southern California and then went to Northern California, little tiny town called Vacaville. Hardly anybody's heard of it, but it's up by Fairfield. Radio Dude says, I was in Grand Rapids on Wednesday, or was it Thursday? I want to say it was Thursday. I remember it being Thursday. I could be wrong. My memory isn't that rock solid. Orb Experience said, I wouldn't know how, but thanks. Radio Dude says, Pika, Nevada rocks. Yeah, Nevada is pretty cool. Sanal, hey, good to see you. Sanal says, hello, Mom Dog. You have a stunning laugh. Thank you. I appreciate you. Sanal saying hello to everyone. So good to see you, Sanal. Pika says the late 70s and 80s. Ah, okay. Around that time, Snoop Dogg would have still been a pup. Yeah, probably not even old enough to sing. If I'm not mistaken, Snoop was born in 71. Yeah, I think he's about, I was born in 72. I think we're around the same age. I think you're right. Orb Experience says, looking forward to the yearly horse-drawn wagon ride at Robinette's Orchard, then donuts and cider. Oh, I used to love wagon rides, especially haunted hay rides. Oh my gosh. Sanal says, you're welcome. Tracy says, those frogs. Yeah, my frogs are known across several channels. Oh, we have a chipmunk that's trying to... Oh, you little fur butt. One off camera just as soon as I got my camera over there. Little butt. Phil says, Snoop puppy pup. Yep, pretty much. Orb Experience says, you're old. Sanal says, just dropping by to hit the like. Appreciate you, Sanal. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day and weekend as well. Pika says, at radio, you're from Nevada too? Road King, that's got to be Rhodey. That is Rhodey. Hey, Rhodey, how are you? Rhodey says, good morning, Molly. Good morning to you too, Rhodey. Thanks for coming. Pika says, a chipmunk? Which one? Alvin, Simon, or Theodore? This one's name is Chippy. And then Chippy has a female named Mrs. Chippy. we have male and female chippies. And then we have a black squirrel that comes around. Her name is Onyx. Radio Dude says, Pika, no, I am from Michigan, but I lived in Reno for 2 years, starting in 2000. And still counting? Or... Orb Experiences, does your walker work in the woods? Rhodey says, hey, radio. See, this little kind of half bush thingy is turning colors here as well. It's starting to shed its leaves as well. And then we got, it's Mrs. Chippy. I don't know if you saw that little chipmunk butt there. That was Mrs. Chippy. Nobody seems to want my peacock nuts today. Throw out some seeds for them here. Usually the black squirrels come from back there and then they come up here. But the freaking chipmunks are so small, if I don't zoom in, they don't look like it. They just blend in with the leaves. They don't look like anything. Rhodey says, hey, radio. Radio Dude says, hey, Road King. Jazz, let's talk about it. I probably know you as somebody else. I am so sorry I don't recognize the name. Says, hi, beautiful. Who do I know you as? Please? Pika says, remember Chip Douglas? I do. Orb Experiences, try tennis balls on the legs. I'll give that a shot. Thanks. Appreciate that. Jez, let's talk about it. Says, hi, everyone. Oh, you're Jazz. Okay, hey Jazz. Good to see you. Thank you for being patient with the @ names here. I don't know what's going on with those or why they're here. Hey Larry, Uncle Larry is here. How you doing, Uncle Larry? Yeah, you are the Jazz, Jazz. You are the Jazz. Larry says, I'm good. Good, glad to read it. Bobby Lee says, hello everyone. Bobby Lee, do I know you as somebody else? I apologize for the @ names. I don't know how to turn those off. Oh, you're also Jazz? Or are you saying hi to Jazz? Jazz says, it's been a while. I've been working too much. I hear that. Wanted to say hi. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming, Jazz. It's good to see you. Bisay says, hey, Larry. Larry says, hello, Bobby. Bobby Lee says, I'm always me, Bobby Lee. Okay. Sorry, I thought I saw a chipmunk. Larry says, hello, Bobby. Oh, I already read that. Jez says, hi, Bobby. Hi, everyone. Are you a bird or a chipmunk? We've got, I don't know if you, oh, we've got a little birdie over here too. Little birdie. Those are for the squirrels. Can you go away and, hey, go fetch us a squirrel. Little bird. And there's more birds back there. I need a scarecrow. Larry says, hello, Jazz. Radio Dude says, look at me, Sandra D. Look at me, Sandra D. I know the song, I don't remember how it goes. I apologize. Pika says, seen any bears, bobcats, coyotes, foxes, or wolves in these woods? Nope. There aren't any bears in this area that I know of. I believe we have foxes, but I haven't seen any. Radio Dude says, if it has wings, it's a bird. Oh. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. I had no idea. I had no idea. How do I tell if it has wings, though? There's like a bunch of birds over here, and they're not showing up on camera. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Rhodey says, the Bobby Lee, LOL. Bobby Lee says, love that movie, Radio. Dolly, hey, good to see you. Gorgeous day, says Dolly. If you are enjoying this channel's content, hit that like, show support, share this out, and subscribe. Thank you, Dolly. So good to see you. How are you, sweetie? Russ says, still here, Mall? Just having burgers. Sounds good. Enjoy. Pika said a scarecrow would be nice. Yeah. I think the neighbor's dog did that. Scared off the birds for us. so the little chipmunks can come out. Tracy says, burger. Larry says, hey, radio dude. Bobby Lee goes, oh yeah, look at me, I'm Sandra Dee. Yeah, that was a good movie, Grease. Radio dude says, I've seen coyotes, fox, and bears. At the zoo or like on your front porch? Bisay says, do you have spring creepers? The little tree frogs that chirp like birds? Most are a little more north. I don't think we do. I haven't seen any. If I did, I would probably keep it as a pet. But that's just me. Tracy says squirrels will mimic bird noises too. Yeah, they do. They do. So chipmunks, when they bark, they kind of sound like birds as well. They sound like some sort of house wren. Larry says, I never seen a spring creeper. Tracy says 26 likes. Oh, wow. I only see 25, but I believe you. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you so much. Bobby Lee says Phoenix. Bisay says, hey, my cheese. Radio dude says, if you're not enjoying the channel's content, hit the like button anyway. Aw, thank you, Phil. Larry said, I had fried bologna and egg sandwiches. That sounds good. Fried bologna is pretty good. Russ is laughing. Bisay says, Dolly and I are cheeseheads. I'm just a transplant in Michigan. Oh, I lived for a year in Milwaukee. So I was very temporary. I was literally a cheesehead for a minute. Pika says, have you ever traveled abroad? No, sadly, I've never been outside of the country. I've been all over the country, but I've never been outside of the country. Where are the squirrels today? My goodness. Last week we had squirrels and no chipmunks. And this week we've got chipmunks and so far no squirrels. Oh, well, I guess it's a little bit early. They usually come out when I've been out here for about an hour. Sometimes they like to come around when I do a tour of the trees, so let's do a tour of the trees here. Bobby Lee says, I've got bears, deer, coyote, fox, rabbit, raccoons, eagles, cougars. Oh my, I'll go through my yard. Wow. I love living in the Pacific Northwest. I bet, yeah. Oh, I hear a chipmunk. This tree does not look as bare on camera as it really is. And then, oh, we've got a tree over here with some red. That doesn't show up on camera so great. Sorry about my shaky hands, guys. We'll look at some foliage while we wait for them to decide if they're going to come eat my peacock nuts. Pika says, I'd like to travel abroad. My goal is and has always been to travel the world. I've always wanted to go to England, Jamaica, and Africa. And Japan. How could I forget Japan? Oh, freaking love Japan. I don't know if these birds are having some kind of a lover's quarrel or what their deal is. Can you guys see the birds? Can I zoom in any further? It's kind of pixelated. There we go. Pika said, I've seen quite a few bears, bobcats, coyotes, foxes, mountain lions, and wolves. I saw a mountain lion when I was in California. When I lived in California, I was on a field trip or some sort of kids camping trip or something. I was with a group of a bunch of other kids. I saw a mountain lion. I thought it was really cool, and I didn't understand why I couldn't just go up and pet it. I was young. Obviously, they didn't let me pet it. Rhodey says, when did you start doing this? Have you done it in the snow yet? I started doing these lives in, I think it was towards the end of April. It was either April or May. I haven't done it in the snow yet, but I'm excited to. I hope to do one while it's actually snowing. I've done it in the rain, so I'm sure I could do it in the snow. Bisay says, I'm from Jefferson, a small town between Milwaukee and Madison. I've actually been through there. What a small world. Bobby Lee says, we have tree rats too. You call them chipmunks, squirrels everywhere too. Pika says, no problem. Shake those hands as much as you want. Aw, thank you. Appreciate you. Russ says, Jamaica, no she didn't with no force. And Bobby Lee says, Australia is my bucket list. Please send me bucket list place to see. Maybe retire there. I want to retire in the UP of Michigan. Up north, the Upper Peninsula, way up north. The only thing is I have to cross that bridge to get there. I have to cross the Mackinac Bridge. And I have difficulties going over that bridge. And I'm not talking about driving over the bridge, because I'll never do that. You can't pay me enough to drive over that bridge. Pika says, I also like their martial arts and their advanced technology. Hi, my name is Kira. Kira, thank you so much, because they're on @names. Kira, thank you so much. I've seen you before. How are you? Russ says, hi, Kira. Radio Dude says, why wouldn't they let you pet that dog? Kira says, me and my husband have the same account. Radio Dude says, hi, Kira. Bisay says, you probably remember dinosaurs when you were young. Yeah, they were really handy. They helped us get to school, and they helped protect us from strangers and from other dinosaurs that were coming into our cave. It was great. Kira says, hi, Jazz. Kage! Kage says, Molly, you didn't tell me you were live. I am so sorry. I knew I was forgetting something. I had, there was like a bunch of big branches that were down, and I had to move them before my live, and I was busy trying to get everything out of the way so I could get the peacock nuts down on the ground. And I'm so sorry. Not an excuse, but an explanation. I apologize. Kage says, I've been watching Mythbusters instead of you. Mythbusters probably has less chipmunks and birds. We've had a lot of birds today. I don't know what's up with that. Seems like they should be flying south. And Bisay says, hey, Kage. Kage says, hey, Bisay. Kira says, Jazz. And wow, am I behind? No, I'm not that far behind. Oh, we've got a chipmunk about to come on camera. And that is Chippy. Hi, Chip Chip. How are you? Yeah. Mythbusters doesn't have this cuteness. Radio Dude says, I think we might need to get Mom Dog a gift card to RX Optical. Probably. I do need to get my eyes checked seriously, though. Kira says, I know Jazz longer than everybody here. Pika says, Jamaica, I'm sure would be nice too. I'd like to go to the beaches. Oh yeah, me too. Bisay says, my FBI friend is doing a body dig in the UP right now. Big new case. No other info yet. Wow. I guess, yeah, it's not highly populated up there, so I guess that'd probably be well, that's a scary thought, but yeah. There really isn't much crime up there. Well, that they report in the Lower Peninsula anyway. Radio Dude says, plane crash. Where? Are you at the airport? Pika says, what's up, Chippy? Or is it Chippy? Some people spell it Y, some people spell it IE. I say it both ways. Bisay says, Puerto Rico looks nice. Yeah. Russ says, my parents went to Jamaica. They found a large pack of 420 that had washed up on the beach. Oh my gosh. They said to me, we didn't get you anything because there was nothing you would like. 420 guy, damn. No doubt. No doubt. Share. Puff, puff, pass. Radio Dude says, that's Mrs. Chippy. No, that was Mrs. Chippy is a little bit lighter striped. Anna Marie, hey, good to see you, girl. How are you? Thank you for coming. Radio Dude says, Anna Marie. Russ says hi to Anna. Mike the Bike Dasher. Good to see you. How are you, Mike the Bike Dasher. Anna says, hey radio dude, Russ, fancy seeing you here. Russ said, I wish I had gone with them. They wouldn't have seen me for 2 weeks. Oh, we got a chipmunk. Don't go into the ground, please. Where'd you go? Stop being so quick. He's gone. He gone. No, he back. No, she back. Stop being so quick. There we. Oh, how cute is that? And she gone. She gone. See, can we still see them if they're... You gonna come back out here, little one? Mike says, I'm fine. How are you? Glad to read it, Mike. I'm doing pretty good. It's good to see you. Anna says, hey, radio dude, Russ. My chat went back on me again. What is going on here? Radio dude says, hello, Mike. Pika says, if you could travel to any 6 countries right now, which 6 would you go to? You mentioned England, Jamaica, and Japan. What would be your other 3? Gotta go to Australia. Gotta go to... Scotland. Although that's kind of part of England, isn't it? Does that count as a separate? Ireland. Ireland. And Africa. Mike the Bike Dasher says, hello, radio dude. Or Henwo, radio dude. And Marie says, I'm glad I could make it. How are you doing today, dearest Molly? I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Anna? Am I behind again? I apologize. Radio dude says, Henwo, Mike Bike Dasher dude. Henwo, Bike Dasher dude. Anna Marie says, just a little brown blur running across my screen. Yeah, they're freaking quick. They're quick. Tracy says, hey, Anna. Anna says, hey, Tracy. How are you, lovely? Radio dude says, Molly, I speak Australian. I'll go there with you. Okay, you can drive. What? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Mrs. Chippy just came up. Let me take this. Let me show you what happened. I apologize for screaming. This little Mrs. Chippy came out from under there, came up to the porch here, right up here, and pawed at my leg here, and scared the bejesus out of me. And of course, I got startled, and that startled her. So she ran. I didn't even see her. Pika says, nice, which country in Africa would be your first choice to travel to? I want to see Malawi. Mike the Bike Dasher says, I would travel back to Antarctica because that is my homeland where I was raised by a huge family of 420 penguins for the first 69 years of my life. We love you, Mike. Don't ever change. Don't ever change. Radio Dude says, I hate splitting hairs, but Africa is a continent. Well, yeah, technically, you're right. Rudders, hey, good to see you. Rudders says, what up, everyone? Hi, Molly. Russ says, hi, John. Anna says, I'm doing pretty good, dealing with holiday and family chaos per usual. But I really can't complain. It's quiet time in my house at the moment. It's very peaceful. Nice. Quiet time was always my favorite time. I always loved quiet time. When my kids were too old to take naps, I would try to convince them to take quiet time. I'd be like, let's just have some quiet time. Yeah. That didn't last too long, as you can imagine. Radio Dude is rolling around on the floor, laughing his body part off. Rudder says, hi, Russ. Makes a change to see you in a chat rather than on screen. Yeah, it is. It is kind of weird to see him in a chat rather than on screen, isn't it? Pika says, I'll break down by continents for starting with Asia. It's Asia, then I'll say Cambodia, China, Japan, Philippines, South Korea, and Thailand. Thank you. I appreciate you. Russ says, I know, mate. It's a nice change. Russ says, I love Mal's stream, though. Oh, thank you, Russ. I appreciate you. We got any critters about? Did I put the peacock nuts out? I don't think I did. Nope, I didn't. Running low on peacock nuts. Anna Marie says, well, you know mine are 5 and 1, so quiet time always leads to a nap. So this is my hour of quiet of the day. Yeah, they're so precious. So precious. Russ said, if you could teleport to anywhere, Mal, where would you go? Oh, let's see. I would go to England. I would, because there's so many great people in England that I would just really like to meet. If I could teleport anywhere, I would go to England right now. Anna says, my house, Russ. Yeah, oh yeah, can I teleport? Can I bring people from the United States with me when I teleport? Pika says, if it's Africa, I'll go with Egypt, Kenya, Madagascar, Morocco, South Africa, and Tunisia. South Africa might be where I want to go. I think that's where Lake Malawi is. Russ says, sounds good, Anna, especially during quiet time. We'll be there for quiet time. When the kids wake up, we're out of there. Just playing. Just playing. Kage says, teleport me, Molly. I'll bring you with me, Kage. I'll bring you with me. Rudder says, you'd be absolutely welcome over here, Molly. Appreciate you, Rudders. Thank you. Appreciate you. Russ says, yes, bring loads of people. Defo, John. Addison, hey, good to see you. How are you, Addison? Addison was up late texting me in the middle of the night, so he's probably just waking up. Am I right, Addison? Anna Marie says, don't get me wrong, Russ. I love my little Tasmanian devils, but quiet time is the best. Oh, I know it. I know it. They're fun to have around, but it's also fun to have quiet time. Russ says, I totally understand, Anna, and I don't have kids. Addison says, good, how about you? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Kage says, hey Yurda, I tried to get you for some games last night. Addison says, yes. Radio Dude says, I don't get to text you, Molly. What the heck? Well, what's stopping you from texting me? It's not like you don't have my number. You can text me. Rudder says, imagine Russ doing a guest Wednesday with the guest sitting right next to him. Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Edison says, yeah, I've been doing yard work across the street. Oh, that's nice of you. You're such a good guy, Addison. Russ says, I had that plan, mate, but it fell through. Radio Dude says, you're on a lie, LOL. Pika says, if it's Europe, then Denmark, France, Ireland, Italy, Portugal, and Spain. And lastly, I'll say if it's Latin America, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru. Yeah. I don't think I'd like to visit South America. Just because I've met people that have been there, and they say about that they feared for their life. There was all this crime, and that there were certain places that they had to go through armor, like what do you call it, bulletproof car, because there was so much gunfire and so much gang activity going on. I was like, that does not sound like a relaxing vacation. Radio Dude says, actually, I have 2 numbers for you. Oh, I'll text you from my current one after the live then, Phil, and then you'll know. Or you could just text them both and see which one replies. Pika says, Australia would be awesome. Being in a country and a continent simultaneously would be awesome. Plus, they've got all those cool animals there, like the koalas and the kangaroos. And Nicole! Hey, Nicole! How are you, girl? So good to see you. Everybody say hi to Nicole. Rudder says, Russ had Tracy over. They set the camera up to go live, but decided to create a blue movie. Russ is laughing. Anna says, driven through South America to one of the states at the bottom of Mexico, and it's wild. We had to have armed guards to get there, but there were some amazing places there. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would scar me. Maybe I'm a little bit delicate. Toddy, hey Toddy. Says hi Molly and chat. Good to see you. Russ says, that's who I had planned, mate. Addison says, hey, Nicole. Radio Dude says, hi, Nicole. Nicole says, hanging in there. Good for you. Good for you show them that you're better than that. And we love you. Anna Marie says, Australia is its own type of scary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. They've got those spiders that are ginormous. It should not be legal for spiders to get that big. Rudder says, hi, Nicole. Toddy. Nicole says, hey, Addison and Phil. Toddy says, hi, John. Pika says, I understand, but we have to be cautious anywhere we go. For me, I just always pray for the best and prepare for everything. Yeah, that's a good way to go. Nicole says, love you too, Molly. Aw, you're so sweet. Anna Marie says, well, I have family that lives in Mexico, so I get to see them. You have to do what you have to do. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if I had family, I would do it. I wouldn't look at it as a vacation though. I would probably need a vacation after that. Rhoda says, think that would be a great guest Wednesday, mate. Kage says, hey Nicole. Radio Dude said it's not legal for spiders to get that big, but who's gonna stop them? Well, yeah. I sure the heck ain't. I'm just gonna stay off of that continent. Well, where are the squirrels? They're due. They're due to be here. And it says, got to get some dishes washed while the kids are sleeping, so I'm going to lurk for a bit. Appreciate you, Anna. Nicole says, hey, John. Russ says, definitely John. Pika says, I know quite a few people throughout Latin America. I'd love to go to the Amazon rainforest. Oh, that might be kind of cool. That might kind of be worth it. Russ says, do you want to do my dishes too, Anna? Pika says, maybe the squirrels are having a meeting. It's funny, Pika, because I go to Russ's live streams 3 days a week. His live streams typically overlap with meetings for my job. And so we joke about the in fact, you guys aren't going to believe this. On Friday, yesterday, we actually had a meeting, and the topic of the meeting and the whole agenda of the meeting was how to not have so many meetings. Not even kidding. We're like, how about don't schedule them? How about email us some of this stuff instead of these hour-long meetings that totally could have been an email? And it says, OMG, my aunt lives in Panama and it's freaking incredible. Oh, that sounds incredible. LOL, you gonna bring them to me, Russ? Russ says, I was hoping you would come here, Anna. Kage says, part 1, not having meetings about meetings. Right? I was like, we were private messaging. We have this little like group chat at work that only our team can see. And we were joking around like, is this seriously a meeting? Is this a really late April Fool's joke? Radio Dude says they kind of fudged that meeting up. Yeah, yeah. Anna says, LOL for you, Russ, I absolutely would. You're so sweet, Anna. You're such a doll. Pika says, what do you do for work? I work in the American healthcare system. I work at a clearinghouse, which is as boring as it sounds. So I'll leave it at that and won't go into too much detail. Russ says, you are always welcome, Anna. You're so sweet too, Russ. You guys are I am so fortunate to know you guys. I am so lucky to know you guys. And I'm so glad I know you guys. And it says, I'd do it for you too, Molly. Aw, you're so sweet. Pika says, sounds like a fun job to me. How long have you been doing it? I've been, let's see, it's been about two and a half years. Yeah, about 2.5 years. And It's so complex, I'm still learning stuff. Radio Dude says, I'm a bank robber. I don't work much, but when I do, I make bank. And you admitted that on the live, so we've got you dead nuts to rights there. Kage says, Molly, should we plan a cookout at my place next summer? Oh, that would be freaking awesome. I would love to do that. Yeah, isn't Mary coming up next summer? Pika says, I do voice acting and narrating. Really? Kage says she's supposed to at some point. I told her to stop and pick you up. Yeah, I think, yeah, she's, oh, that's right. She's gotta come up here to get her ex to sign off on the timeshare. So yeah, she'll come pick me up. We'll come over to your house and we'll have a barbecue. Kage says, I'm gonna get Specs to come from Cali too. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, that would be neat, like a big ol' YouTube meetup. That would be so cool. Pika says, what are some funny things that happened at work? Well, let's see, I work mostly with doctors and insurance companies. We're kind of the go-between between the doctor and the insurance companies. And I had a doctor that was having difficulty logging into his account to check on his claims. This was a doctor that did his own billing. By the way, if your doctor does their own billing, get a new doctor. You want your doctor to have a biller. Trust me. You can't be a doctor and a biller. You can't be a good doctor and a biller at the same time. So I call this guy up and I'm trying to connect with I'm trying to screen share with him. I'm trying to connect to his computer so I can see what's going on when he's trying to log in so I can troubleshoot the issue. Well, I can't connect. And he's like, well, there's nothing on my screen. And I'm like, well, I'm like, is it like a blank page? And he's like, no, everything is black. And I'm like, what? That doesn't sound right. And it took me a minute. Turned on, the idiot did not turn on his computer. And apparently didn't realize that he had to turn on the computer before he could attempt to log in. And this was a doctor that was treating patients. I guess it's more of a scary story than a funny story. Exactly, Kage. He didn't turn the computer on. He was just sitting there on a blank screen going, yeah, I don't have any, my screen's just blank. I mean, if you can't turn on your computer, there's just no help for you. Anna said, oh my God, one of my favorite people, the blind surfer, does voice acting. Have learned a tone of respect about that job from him. I bet. Anna says, I don't know what could top the meeting about having less meetings. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Well, there was one, we had this 2-hour meeting over renaming the company. So it was all hands. So they literally took everybody from the entire company. Everybody stopped what they were doing. Nobody was being helped or anything for 2 hours so they could talk about this name change. And then they go out and hire a firm to come up with the new name. So that was that was just a waste of 2 hours for the entire company. Kage said it's like the Department of Redundancy Department. It is. Radio Dude says, Molly, whenever I was in a meeting, they always had PowerPoint presentations, so I'd bring popcorn and retext my friend about the boring movie I was watching. Addison's laughing. Anna says, no. Radio Dude says, I love the blind surfer. Remember, even if they call it a meeting, if there's no donuts, it's just a hostage situation. Well, I work from home, so I would have to provide my own donuts. And I'm too cheap to provide my workers with donuts. Radio Dude says, I'll bring you donuts. Aw, you're so sweet, Phil. Oh, I forgot to call the squirrels. Maybe that's why they're not coming. Here, squirrely, 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 squirrely. Here, squirrely, 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 squirrely. Here, squirrely, squirrely. Ooh, one answered me from up in the tree. Did you hear that? That was trippy. Anna says, I will remember that for Sunday when I go to my meeting at 8 a.m. Radio Dude. Kelly says, hello. Hello, Kelly. Hello and welcome. Radio Dude says, I can't imagine the cat, frogs, and fish eat a lot of donuts. No, we're all on a diet. Radio Dude says, hiya, Kelly. Anna says, if they come running, like my chickens do, I am going to lose it. Oh, we got a chipmunk. Kelly says, hello, all others as well. Oh, bleh, I can speak. Kelly says, hello, all others as well. Such a quick little busy thing. Let's see, can we still get him on camera? There he is. Oh, he just went into the hole. So I guess not. Maybe they don't like my nuts anymore? Where'd that corn go? There's the corn. Let's see. Oh. Not quite as colorful as it was last week. Carl, hey, good to see you. Carl says, good evening, everyone. Hello, Carl, how are you? Pika says he's playing hide and go seek. Pika says, are you at the park or is this in your yard? This is my backyard. In fact, right here is the edge of my deck, my back deck here. Little stairs. In fact, that's the area where the I can talk. Chipmunks like to come and visit. Carl says, I don't like the new YouTube. I agree. I don't like, especially on the what do you call it, the computer. I especially don't like that. Radio Dude says, nobody wanted a deck pick. They're free today. Kage says, what time are you ending today, Molly? In about half an hour. Kage says, what don't you like about it? I don't like the way that live button, you know, where you has that little red indicator that lets you know that you're on the most current part of the video. It's just a little bit more difficult to use. I mean, slightly, very slightly, but I'm old and so things like that annoy me. Well, I don't know. I'm 52. I'm old enough. Really? Can you just stay in the middle of the screen? Just eat something. Just sit right there and eat something. And he's gone. So we'll go back over here. Pika says, nice. Is that a big drop down there in the forest or no? Yes. Yes, that horizon line that you see there is a big drop down. And there's a little tiny creek that is mostly mud at the bottom. I'm hoping one day to get enough rain that it'll fill up and I'll actually have something to show you guys down there. Radio Dude says, Molly, I just sent you an unsolicited deck pic. It's huge. Carl says, I've never owned a PC. I have to have one for work. Otherwise, I can't work and then they fire me. So I have to have one. Pika says, I look forward to seeing the creek. Kage says, Carl, what don't you like about the new YouTube on phone? I don't think I've really checked it out on phone yet. I mean, obviously I stream from my phone, but typically I do YouTube on my computer just because it's a bigger screen. And I don't like looking at stuff too hard. Carl says, I don't like the change of names. Oh, the at names. I am right there with you. Hate them. Kage says, ooh. Radio Dude says, I've never owned a pound of gold. If anyone cares to donate, I'd appreciate it. Radio Dude, or Kage says, yeah, I really don't like the ads. Yeah, I don't think anybody does. Radio Dude throws away Viagra. What does that have to do with a pound of gold? Aw, Kage says, Phil, once I win the lottery, I got you. Are you playing the lottery, Kage? Because my mistake is I keep not playing. And then, well, they don't call my numbers anyway. But I don't play, so it makes it a lot harder to win. But, you know, I like a good challenge. Kage says, I do play. Oh, cool. Then you have a better chance of winning than I do. Carl says, Molly has more in her live than I had last night. What time did you go live last night, Carl? Radio Dude says, I threw away my Viagra because you don't like to look at anything too hard. Oh, Phil. Pika says, your name is Molly? I can call you Moll for short. I'm used to giving people nicknames. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have quite a few people that call me Moll, actually. Carl says 8 p.m. Irish time. Okay, so that would have been 3 here. I would have been in Russ's live. That's why I missed it. I'm sorry, Carl. Mary, hey! Mary says, hi there, sweetheart. I forgot I'm sorry. Oh, no worries. No worries. It's good to see you. Missed you yesterday. I watched your catering live, or rewatched it rather, and I was doing some other things while I was listening to it, and I kept forgetting that it wasn't live, and I kept like going to say hi to people and in the chat. It was ridiculous. Radio Dude says, I only take Viagra so that I don't roll out of bed in the middle of the night. Ah, so it's for safety reasons. Radio Dude says, Mary, we remembered. You're sorry. LOL, JK. Good to see you. Carl says, the clock changes here tonight. Oh, that's right. And I think ours changes next weekend. Mary says, hi there, sweetheart. I forgot I'm sorry. You're all good, Mary. You're all good. Love you. You're all good. Was that a leaf or a chipmunk? It'll be interesting because I don't technically, or ever, I never come out and hang out like during the winter, during the fall like this and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of critters come up in the winter, if any. Rody said, I've done that before, thinking I was in the live. Yeah. Oh, Radio Dude says, my clock changes every second. Should I be concerned? Yes, yes, Phil, run. Russ says, my friend put ground Viagra in his eyes. He thought it would make him look hard. Pika said, I heard that sound too. It sounded like a chipmunk. Chippy, is that you trying to do a jump scare? Yeah, something like that, huh? Papa Smurf, hey, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Says, hi, everybody. Have you seen any squirrels today? We haven't seen any. The black squirrels have not made an appearance. Actually, no squirrels have. We've seen a few. Well, actually, we've seen Chippy and we've seen Mrs. Chippy. So we've seen a couple of chipmunks and we've seen some birds. Tracy says, they'll be grateful for you feeding them, Molly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping because I feed them that they'll come around in the winter. I know we have rabbits, wild rabbits around here. I haven't seen any, but in the wintertime, I've seen their little paw prints appear on the deck. Edison says boobs upside down and backwards. Papa Smurf says, what's the temperature? The squirrel's nuts might be too cold to be outside. It is pretty chilly today. I think it's like in the 50s. And of course, I didn't think about it being cold and I didn't put anything on my feet. And that moss is cold. Kage says SQOOQ. Skook. 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 Kage's inventing words. Radio Dude says, Molly, be sure to check for ticks when you go inside. I'll help if you need it. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. I think it's too cold for ticks. Pika says, Chippy and Mrs. Chippy are married, or are the names just coincidentally similar? Well, Chippy, who just ran out here, let me see if I can get him. Or are you Mrs. Chippy? No, you're Chippy. We had since my first stream, Chippy has been kind of coming out and hanging out, and see him fairly frequently on my live streams, so we decided that he needed a name, and we voted on it on my page, and Chippy won. And then we found out that Chippy has a little mate, a little female squirrel that he hangs out with and sometimes fights with. And so we just call her Mrs. Chippy. Radio Dude says, Pika, I think they're married. They're always bickering. Yeah, I have to agree. Radio Dude says, I just found a tick on the cat. Oh no, that's not good. That's not cool. Kage said it's boobs, but all caps. Said squawk. Well, he's gone. I think they have a tunnel that... Oh. Yep, there's a hawk. Oh, he's close to... Oh, no, that's a blue jay. Nope, I guess we're not going to see him. Oh, he flew away. That's why I'm not finding him. Looking for stuff that ain't there. Radio Dude says, we all love boobs. Yeah, who doesn't? Papa Smurf says, Mr. and Mississippi and a large wedding. Mrs. wore a beautiful, long, beautiful white gown. Which was probably, let's see, a giant or a long white gown for one of these guys would probably be about 6 inches. Man, that hawk screamed and now it's really quiet. I guess nobody wants to get eaten. Pika says, I heard that hawk screaming too. Yeah. Yeah, once the hawks come around, then we get all the critters hide because they don't want to be dinner. Starting to hear some birds. That's a good sign. Yeah, it's funny. Well, I mean, it's not funny. It's actually really creepy, especially in the fall. When a hawk screams and then everything goes really quiet. Pika says, I think I saw it flying around. I don't know if I caught it or not. If I did, cool. Papa Smurf is laughing. Pika says, I saw something brown behind the tree way, way in the back. Let's see. Is it behind the middle tree here? Because we do have brown squirrels as well. I'm starting to hear some birds. This one? One of these little ones? Or one of these ones back here. Wait, now I lost my trees. There, okay, there we go. We do have, let me see if I can get this on camera at all. If you see that branch there that's bent over, it goes all the way across the ravine. And some of the squirrels will use that as like a bridge. So it's entirely possible you caught a squirrel going across that, well, I call it a bridge. They use it as a bridge. And it sounds better than bent tree. Here, squirrely, squirrely, squirrely. squirrely, squirrely, squirrely. Squirrely, squirrely, squirrely. Here, squirrely, squirrely. Kage says ferry bridge. Oh, I like that. I like that better. Yes. Henceforth, it shall be known as the ferry bridge. Pika says, yeah, I see the tree bending over. We call those bent over trees working trees. I think. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize it was so zoomed in. But I saw a little head pop up. Maybe it'll pop back up again. Zed, hey, good to see you. Zed says it's Mom Dog. Hey, how are you? Haven't seen you in forever. How you been? Pika says maybe that tree was listening to some Cardi B. And apparently not sharing with the other trees. I don't know where those squirrels are. Not even seeing them up in the trees today. Coffee Lover, are you Coffee Cake? Coffee Lover says hello everyone. Papa Smurf says I think chipmunks are a lot cuter than squirrels. I do too, but once you see Onyx, Onyx is quite adorable for a squirrel. Coffee Lover said, oh, it's Paul from Mary's channel. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Hello and welcome. Papa Smurf says, hi, Coffee. Kage says, Paul Hawks, hey. Zed says, porcupines are fun to cuddle. Well, you have at it. I'll pass. Paul said, I thought it was up to you. I thought I was up to you, but I wasn't. I thought I was up to you, but I wasn't. Oh, okay, subbed. Oh, okay, yeah, no worries. No worries. Kage says, Paul, make sure you sub. Tatai, hey, good to see you. Tatai says, hello, Mom Dog 72. Good to see you, Tatai. How are you? Paul says, no, I thought I was subbed. Oh, gotcha. That happens to me too. Can you get on camera? Where did you go? He's really far out there. I don't know if you guys can even see him. He's perfectly still, of course. Move around so they can see that you're alive. Paul says, I subbed. Appreciate you, Paul. Thank you. Tatai says, doing good. Just been busy. Yeah, it's busy season, isn't it? Papa Smurf said, I had a skunk that I got out of the pet store. It liked to cuddle with me like a cat. Oh, that's really cool. Did you have it descented so it couldn't spray? Paul says, I'm subbed to 200 channels. Wow, that's cool. I've probably got at least that many. I've got, is that a hawk? Sometimes the crows will make noises like hawks. So I don't know if that was an actual hawk or a crow. Yeah, I'll take it out of the holder here and do another, whoa, if I can not drop the phone. Do another tour here of the colors. The really tall trees. Love the reds and the yellows. Of course, we got this like almost, well, no, this tree here is in the middle is completely bare. And then this tree over here is almost completely bare. And there we go. Papa Smurf says, yes, I see. You have a great backyard. I live in Florida, and most lots 80 by 120. Oh, wow. Oh, we have a chipmunk. It is Mrs. Chippy. Hi, Mrs. Chippy. How are you? How are you, little one? Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Hi, little one. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, look how cute, guys. You hear her? Damn, she's loud. You gonna shut up for a minute and have a bite to eat? Huh? You gonna shut up for a minute and have a bite to eat? Hey, Paul. That's the Paul. That's the one I recognize. Papa Smurf says, great coloring. Yeah, she is gorgeous. Actually, it's funny. She looks darker colored on camera than she is in real life. But yeah, she is gorgeous. Aren't you, little one? Aren't you too cute? You're just too cute. Papa Smurf says, hi, Paul. Paul says, hello, everyone. Papa Smurf says it has 2 racing stripes. Yeah, they are quick. Maybe that's what makes them go so fast. Tracy says they are just too cute. Aren't they, though? And this one's about 3 feet away from me. And getting closer. So busy. So busy. So much to look at those cheeks. Oh my goodness. Oh, she gone. Pika says it's a nice yard. Thank you. It's actually, believe it or not, it's actually part of a state park. So this is all protected land as well. So that's nice. Oops, keep forgetting to zoom out. Sorry, guys. Yeah, those don't sound like friendly birds. Those don't sound like rodent-friendly birds. Paul says it looks so nice. Thank you. Pika says those birds sound like they're looking for a meal. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any squirrels today. Because the chipmunks are quick. The chipmunks will kind of stay out a little bit later after the warning's been, or after the hawk makes his noise. Papa Smurf says the birds got to eat too. I'd rather eat squirrels than Smurfs. Pika says they're calling for the flock. I think you might be right, because I heard a couple. I heard one on one side, and then the other on my other side was like answering it. Does anybody know anything about if squirrels hibernate? I don't remember if I've seen squirrels out in the snow or not. That's something I should remember. But again, I'm old. I forget stuff. Mary says, back. Welcome back, Mary. We're currently listening to the hawks that have scared off all of the rodents. We had some chipmunks, no onyx today. Edison says, boobs. Papa Smurf says, I have regrets. I have regrets. Oh, egrets. You have egrets in your front yard every morning? They go from house to house. Egrets are so cool. Tracy says, they will if it's cold enough, Molly. Yeah. I don't know what temperature, though, they would go into hiding. Hibernation. Pika says, sounds like I heard one say, what are we having for dinner tonight? My stomach is growling. I'm ready to hunt. Edison says, hey, Coffee. Mary says, hey, Colleen. Did I miss Colleen? I've got my phone at an angle here. Did I miss you, Colleen? Colleen, if you came in and I missed you, I'm so sorry. Addison says, hey, Mary. Papa Smurf says, hi, Mary. Rhodey says, hi, Mary. Everybody's saying hi to Mary. We love Mary. Mary says, hello, Edison. Okay, don't blow my nose. What the hell? He said the guy, cool dad, that really, really nice person, we're going to be doing a Pops. Okay, my phone has a complete mind of its own. Ignore the messages. No way, Mary. They're too funny. They're too funny to ignore. Mary says, was she in your live or mine? I think it was yours. Pika says, be right back. I gotta grab something to eat, then I'll ask you some bird questions. Actually, we're getting ready to end here in about 2 minutes. My time will be up. Mary says, hi to everybody. My phone has a mind of its own right now. Nothing new. It's right with my family. Fits right with my family. We got about 1 minute left here, guys. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes here to say goodbye to everybody. To say your goodbyes. Kage says, okay, Molly, I guess that means I gotta go do responsible stuff. Yeah, it's time to adult. Pika says, okay then, I'll stay for the 2 minutes. My tummy can wait till then. Oh, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Paul says, bye, everyone. Pika says, all right, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Ma. Appreciate you. Rhodey says, later all of you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Each and every one of you is special to me. Each of you is special to someone else as well. Know that you're loved. Everyone, have a fantastic day. Have a great weekend. Go forth and be kind.